Well, good morning. Welcome back to a farm west of Boring. Yesterday we cut our first big slabs off of the oak log that we loaded onto the sawmill last week, and we have some really beautiful slabs here. And today I am going to try to put the digital log scale on, and it is right down there. I think you can see it. So I think that what I'm going to try to do is get a piece of wood and mount that onto the side of the carriage, and then mount the slide bar onto that, and then the actual transmitter will mount onto the carriage so it goes up and down with the carriage. So let's see what we can do. I'm not really sure. We're just going to play it by ear here and see what we can get done today. So let's go. Well, here we are over in the workshop, the wood shop, and I'm looking for something that we might be able to mount that slide bar on. And here we have some leftover oak flooring, which might work. If this is at least 3 feet long, it appears to be, that might work. So here's my idea, is to try and attach something up there. It'd have to be out a little ways, I think. So we'd attach something right there, and another one down there. This would have to be shortened somewhat. And then put the, attach the, so essentially this would go on to that board, and then down at that end, and then this little sensor, we would have to hook that into the actual saw head somehow. So I'm not sure. We're going to have to do some experimenting here to see how that might work. After quite a bit of measuring and figuring out, I have come to the conclusion that this might be the way to go. What I did is I turned this around. It used to come out here, so I turned it around over here, and then I've made this piece of oak flooring with a little slot in it so that this can tighten up on there. So this is about an inch and a half from here to here. And then I've made a little bracket down here to hold the bottom of that piece of oak out an inch and a half, and that will be a little bit adjustable, but that's how that's going to go. So I will mount the rod onto the piece of oak, and get that all nice and plumb. And then for this, the sensor, I've made up a little bracket that's going to go in underneath these bolts that hold down the shims for the post, and then that sensor will remain stable there as the rod goes up and down with the saw head. So we'll see how that works. Let me put this together. So here's the piece of metal that I fabricated for here, and essentially it'll go in there, and I will of course So that'll go in there, and those bolts will get tightened down. And of course I'll leave enough space there so it's not rubbing on the post. But then you'll see that when there's about a 1/16 of an inch there for the post, this is out just enough, and this can bend out. We can bend this out a little bit, and the sensor should be able to hook onto that. I'm hoping that'll work. I think maybe that will work. And then that'll give us a... If you remember, the problem that we had was that the log scale, when it was up quite a ways, it would hit those floor joists up above, and we couldn't use the standard log scale. So this is the best we've come up with. Okay, so there we go. Got that secured up there. Got those bolts tightened up. And then I've got that bolted on there good, so nice on solid. Okay, so on this here, I went ahead and trimmed this back just a little bit so there's less chance of it hitting the post. So we'll put that on there and we'll see if that'll work. Okay, I put a couple of washers in here. I think that might help hold the this bracket down a little better. So let's see if I can get those on there. Yeah, I need two hands. So there we go, there's the bracket. I think that will work. It's just shy of that. Of course, I could always move that in, but we'll have to do some fine adjusting, I think. So next I'll put the rod on here. So this is where I am so far. This is about a 3/4 of an inch below here, but it looks to me like that is about as high as I can go. So this here does not come all the way up to there. So we're about 3/4 of an inch down. So technically speaking, if I mount that right there, we should be good. Unless there's something else. I mean, I think that's about as high as I can go. We might go another 1/4 inch, but I've got a 1/4 inch there, so I think we can mount that thing pretty much maybe at the low end of this. And it does get a little bit tight there at the top. I put a washer back in behind that screw. And we'll see how that works. I could add another washer or a half a washer or something. But very seldom am I going to be cranked up that high, so. So now the problem comes in putting screws through here into the back of this, I have to take this off. But to take this off, I have to undo the bar. So I pretty much just have to figure out exactly where this goes this way, and then take this off and screw this into this. I don't know how else to do it unless I just duct tape it on there, but I'd rather use screws. Okay, so I got 2 screws in the back of the sensor into that bracket that I made. But I tell you, that is not easy to get those on there. And they're pretty short, so I'm hoping they don't back out. And so then this will go up and down. Well, actually, this will stay stable and the sensor will go up and down. But it's looking pretty plumb, and we'll see if it works. So I had to loosen this bolt up so that I could get this to slide back and forth. It was not giving me enough room. So that's, I think, about right there. So I'm gonna I'll leave that loose until I tighten the rest of this stuff up. Okay, so I think I've got it all screwed back together. The saw head is up about as high as it'll go, and it looks like we've got about another 1/2 inch play there on the sensor. And if we want to go all the way down, oops. So now we'll just go ahead and raise and go up and down and see if it works. I guess we're all the way down, and looks like it's working. So I guess now we'll try to power this thing up, and boy, I hope I don't have to put a battery in that thing. That'd be a bummer to have to take that thing off again. Okay, so we've tested it. We've tested it and it works. Tightened all the bolts up. And so we ran this thing, the blade down, so the blade was even with the old cut. And then came over here and set it, hit the 0 button. So that set it to 0. And now we've dropped it 2 1/16. If we want a 2-inch cut, dropped it about 2 1/16. And so you'll see the blade is down about 2 inches, and we measured it, and it is 2 1/16. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if this works out. I'm not sure if this is going to work. This is on a magnet. You may want to get a little bit better connection, but for right now I guess it's okay. And Then I guess this is power. Can we turn it off? Save the batteries. I'm not sure. There's another button up on top, and I'm not sure what that's for. And there's one there too. Oh, they're not buttons. They're little spacers. These, you can set these up so that they have 3 axes. So you'd have 3 of these, and so I guess that you sandwich them together. So then you have one for up and down, back and forth, and front to back, I guess. I think they're mostly made for use on milling machines like Bridgeport machines and things like that. But it certainly works here for up and down. So it's late in the day. I haven't had lunch. I'm hungry. It's raining a little bit, so I think we'll call it a day and head inside. So if you like today's video where I went through and set up a digital readout log scale on our Woodland Mills HM130 Max, if you like this and it was helpful to you, please give us a thumbs up and think about subscribing to our channel. That's helpful for us too as we continue on our journey down the sawmilling road with the HM130 Max. Thank you for joining us today, and good night. Okay, I got overruled. I guess we're going to make one cut, so we'll see how this thing works in action. Here we go. Another slab, another day, another slab. To get that brush. brush it so it doesn't go on the other one. So how's our blade starting to chatter a little bit? See in there? This is probably getting dull. This is what Matthew Camara does on his slabs. Always pours water on. Yeah, feel that right there. Little rise. Well, did you do 2.5?